Good morning. Welcome to Saturday's session. Morning, Christopher. 30 minutes today. Just getting some movement through our whole body, working into our joints, a little bit of strength, a little bit of breathing to start our weekend full of energy but calm. We're going to start with our feet hip distance apart, standing up nice and tall. So maybe just lift all of your toes up off the mat and then place them back down nice and slowly. Really feel yourself grounding down through your feet. Maybe bending into the legs and just feel that weight going down through your feet into the air. And then straighten up the legs. Slightly tucking the tailbone down, so just lengthening out through the lower back. Finding a little bit of core engagement and then reaching up nice and tall through your spine, up through the crown of your head. Let's bring our hands kind of just slightly apart from our body, palms facing forward, spreading out the fingers, so active hands. And then feel like someone's kind of pulling your hands down towards the earth. So feeling the shoulders kind of melt back and down. So quite an active standing pose. Just watch we're not putting our chin up in the air, just pulling the chin back towards the chest, finding length in the back of the neck and closing down the eyes. So really feeling that energy going down through your feet, rising up through your legs, up through your spine, lifting up through the crown of the head, active through the arms, stretching out the hands. And then starting to take some nice deep breaths. So nice long inhale and slow long exhale. And again, really big full inhale, really filling your lungs. You can feel your rib cage expanding from side to side, front to back. And slow controlled exhale. And again, one more. Big inhale. And sigh it out. Relaxing down your hands, relaxing down the arms. Opening up the eyes. Taking our neck stretches, so just dropping your left ear down to your left shoulder. And then semi-circling down, so your chin meets your chest, and then up the other side. And again, just taking your own little semicircles, pausing wherever you might need to, stretching out all parts of the neck. And then when the chin meets the chest, lifting up the head back to center, taking some shoulder rolls backwards. So lifting the shoulders up to the ears, pulling them back and down. And then we'll start bringing the arms into the movement. Making the circles bigger and bigger, eventually straightening up the arms. So just taking the circles nice and slowly, finding that full range of movement. And then start to make the circles smaller, but keeping the arms outstretched. So we're going to end up with our arms at shoulder height, reaching the fingers out, bringing the arms to stillness and just stretching out through the fingertips. So maybe feeling a nice stretch through the arms here. And then let's wiggle into the fingers, so moving into all the knuckles. And then let's clench the fists and then spread out the hands. Clench and spread. One more time, clenching and spreading. Good. Okay, starting to move the arms forward this time. So nice little small circles just at shoulder height. Making the circles slightly bigger. And then kind of bending into the arms. And then eventually just dropping the arms down, just moving into the shoulders. And then just taking a little circle backwards to drop the shoulders back and down. Good. Reaching forward with the arms, let's take a nice big inhale, spreading the arms out wide, squeezing the shoulder blades together, maybe taking your gaze up towards the sky, up towards the ceiling, coming into little back bends. And then as we exhale, folding the arms in, giving ourselves a hug, curving into our spine the other way. Inhale, opening up the arms, little back bend. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, opening up. Exhale, folding in. One more time. Good. Bring the hands down by the side, inhaling up to the sky, exhaling, bringing your hands down into your prayer position. Let's clasp the hands, pushing the palms out in front of you, stretching out the palms, stretching out the arms. And lifting the arms up and overhead, trying to keep the shoulders down, so pulling the shoulders away from the ears and just watching you're not kind of dipping into your lower back here, so lengthening that tailbone down, engaging your core. And then slowly bringing the arms down through our cactus position, squeezing the shoulder blades together all the way down, clasping the hands behind us. Opening up the chest, working on straightening the arms and then squeezing the heels of the hands, the heels of the palms together. And then bending into the knees, forward folding, bringing the arms up and overhead, letting the head hang heavy. Breathing here. And bringing ourselves just up halfway, releasing the hands, sweeping the hands down, brushing them against the floor, reaching forward, keeping our knees bent, coming into our squat. So keeping the weight back in our heels, reaching forward with our hands, tucking the tailbone under, strong through the legs, grounding down through the feet. And slowly lifting up to standing, nice big inhale, reach up to the sky, exhale, palms come down into our prayer position. This time clasp the fingers the other way, so bringing the other thumb on top, stretching out in front of us. Slowly raising the arms up, keeping the shoulders down and just watching that lower back, not sticking your bum out, keeping the tailbone tucked under. And then coming all the way down, squeezing the shoulders together all the way down, clasping the hands, trying to do the clasp the other way behind you as well. Opening up the chest, straightening out the arms. And then bending into the knees, forward fold. Slowly bringing yourself just up halfway, releasing the hands, sweeping the hands forward back into our Utkatasana squat. Seeing if we can maybe sink the hips a little lower. Breathing. And then nice big inhales, straightening up the legs, reaching up to the sky, bringing the hands back down through your heart center. And then we'll just place the hands on the hips. Taking a big step forward, keeping your feet hip distance apart, so hips facing square on still, straightening out that back leg, so both legs straight, and then just make sure that left hip is still kind of pulling forward, right hip kind of moving backwards, so finding a nice stretch through the back leg. And we're going to bend into the knees, just tap that back knee on the mat, and then straighten back up again. And again, tap it down, and up. Tap it down, and up. And this time coming down, leaving the knee on the mat, untucking the back toe, just wiggling that right foot forward, so it's directly under the knee if you need to. Keeping the right hand on the hip, sweeping the left arm up, and then coming into a side stretch, opening up the left side of the body. Back to center, little back bend, so reaching up and behind you, strong through the legs here. And then bringing that left hand down beside the right foot, coming into our twist, reaching the right arm up to the sky. Nice full breaths here, really reaching up through the right fingertips, strong straight arms. And bringing that right hand down, we're going to slide that right foot back, tuck the toes under, coming back into our foot stretch, so just bringing the weight back into the heels. If you need to bring the hands forward in front of you, that's absolutely fine. Just finding your foot stretch, opening up the soles of the feet, just making sure all of your toes are tucked under. And just breathing here for a few breaths. Then everybody bringing their hands forward, we're going to rock back onto the balls of our feet, coming into a little ball, hugging into your knees, maybe bowing the head down. And then bringing the hands down to the mat, we're going to slowly uncurl all the way back up to standing. Inhaling, reaching the arms up to the sky. And exhaling back down through our prayer, hands to the hips. Same on the left-hand side. So big step forward with your left foot, and then straighten up the legs. Melt that right heel back down towards the mat. And again, kind of moving that right hip forward in space, the left hip back. So keeping our hips square onto the front of the mat. Bending into the knees, tapping that right knee down, then pushing back up, straightening up the legs. And again. One more time. And then this time coming down, leaving the knee down on the mat, just wiggling that front foot forward if you need to. Left hand stays on the left hip, this time right arm reaches up to the sky. Coming into our side stretch, so up and over, opening up the right hand side of the body. Powering down through the legs, so really active through that front foot and the back knee. Back up to center, into our little mini back bend. And then coming all the way down, right hand beside the left foot, left fingertips to the sky. Breathing here, really reaching up through the left hand. Bringing the left hand back down, sliding that left foot back, coming through to all fours. So just making sure our knees are hip distance apart. Toes pointing backwards, hands underneath our shoulders, spreading out the fingers nice and wide, coming into our cat-cows. So inhaling, looking forward. And exhaling, pushing the spine up to the sky. Inhaling forward. And exhaling up. Taking some more rounds in your own time, following your own breath, pausing where you might need to. Taking any little extra movements if you need, if you want to go kind of side to side. Or maybe bending into the elbows as you come forward. Just following what your body needs to do. Okay, finishing off your round, we'll meet in a neutral spine, so flattening the back, lengthening all the way from the tailbone up through the back of the neck, out through the crown of the head. Pulling the belly button back towards the spine, so engaging our core, we're going to extend our right arm and left leg out along the mat, and then slowly lifting them up to shoulder height to hip height, keeping the core strong. Really strengthening that back leg, toes pointing down towards the mat, pushing out through the heel and reaching out through the right fingertips. Breathing here. Bringing the right hand back down to the mat, leaving the left leg extended out. We're going to take some circles with the knee, so bringing the knee nice and wide and round. Taking nice big circles through that left leg, working into the hip joint. So trying to keep our back as stable as we can, just moving the leg, massaging into the hip. Taking circles both ways if you can. And then when you're ready, bringing that knee back down onto the mat. Okay, other side, engaging the core, pulling that belly button back and sliding the right leg, the left hand along the mat, and then slowly lifting up, pushing out through the heel of the right foot. Just making sure the toes are pointing down towards the floor. Remembering to breathe. Bringing the right hand down, and then let's take our circles with that right knee. So bringing the knee kind of up and wide, and then round and down. Just watch we're not kind of piling our weight into our left side here, keeping the back firm, keeping the core engaged, taking circles both ways. And then lowering that right knee back down onto the mat. Coming into child's pose, so bringing the knees wide, toes together, sliding the hands forward and slowly lowering your head down onto the mat. Really trying to keep as much weight back into our hips, so really encouraging those hips down towards the heels, lengthening through the spine. And then relaxing the head down, releasing any tension around the neck, the shoulders, the lower back, the abdomen. And then using this child's pose just to bring our awareness back to the breath. Maybe taking some nice long inhales, full exhales. And here you can really feel the ribs moving, expanding, and then squeezing all the air out. Slowly walking the hands over to the left-hand side of the mat. And then really kind of pushing down with your hands here, so making it a little bit more active. And then we can kind of melt that right armpit, that right shoulder down to the ground. It gives you a really good stretch through the right-hand side of your body. So all through your right arm, your right shoulder, your right rib cage, maybe even into the kind of hip area. And then walking the hands back through to center, over to the other side. And again, let's make the hands, the arms quite active here, and really pushing down with that left shoulder, the left armpit, finding that stretch through the rib cage. Keeping the breathing steady. Good. Coming back to center. Let's come back up onto all fours. We're going to bring the knees hip distance back to hip distance apart again. Walk our hands slightly further forward, so coming into a supported plank position, shoulders over wrists. We're going to do 5 press-ups here. So squeezing the elbows in, coming down as far as you like, doing your 5 press-ups. When you are done with your press-ups, pulling the weight back into your hips, stretching out the back, just into a kind of modified child's pose here. And then again, we'll bring the weight forward, back into our hands, shoulders over wrists, and another 5 press-ups. Keeping the core engaged here. And then bringing the weight back again. Walking the hands back towards the knees, tucking the toes under, coming through a little mini foot stretch here. Just for a couple of breaths. And then again, placing the hands down, coming through our little ball, hugging the knees, curving into your spine. And then slowly coming up to standing, uncurling, nice and slowly all the way up. Once we get there, rolling the shoulders back and down, coming into our tree pose. So we'll take the weight in our left leg first of all. So grounding down through the left foot, really firming up this left leg, maybe bringing the left hand onto the left hip. So we want to watch this hip doesn't swing out, pulling that hip in, slowly lifting up the right knee, squeezing up the knee nice and high. Finding your balance, finding your focal point, keeping your gaze steady, bringing the right knee out to the side. And then finding your tree pose. Bringing the foot up onto the thigh or onto the calf, onto the ankle, and just watch this left hip doesn't swing out. So really pulling that left hip in, opening up the hips here, so squeezing the glutes together, standing nice and tall. If you have your foot up on your thigh, really pushing in with that foot, really super strong thigh. And then when you are ready, coming up through your prayer position into your full tree pose. Keeping the breathing steady, really working those legs. And then bringing the hands back down through our prayer. Slowly releasing that foot from the leg, seeing if we can lift up the right knee, straighten out the leg in front of us, holding here. You can either point the foot or flex the foot. And then lowering back down. Okay, other side. So really rooting down through the right foot, firming up the right leg, right hand on the right hip to encourage it to stay inwards. When we are ready, lifting up our left. Squeezing that knee in nice and high. Finding your balance, don't worry if you wobble. Bringing the knee out to the side, opening up the hips. And then finding your tree pose. Strong through that standing leg, squeezing the glutes together. Wherever that left leg is, encouraging that left kind of knee to open up. So we really want to feel an opening through the hips here. When you are ready, coming up through our prayer position and into our tree. Breathing, steady, softening the face. Coming back down, hands into prayer. Releasing the foot wherever it is on the leg and then lifting up the knee as high as we can, straightening out that leg. Keeping our standing leg straight as well. We can either point the toes or flex the toes of the lifted leg. Strong, straight legs. And then lowering down. Good. Bringing the hands down by the side, giving the legs a little shake if you need. Shoulders roll up to the ears and back and down. Letting the hands just come back down to the side of the body. Closing down the eyes. And let's take some nice deep breaths, a nice full inhale. Again, feeling the rib cage expanding, left to right, front to back. And then squeezing all the air out, maybe sighing out the exhale, letting it all go. Taking a few more rounds of nice deep breathing. Just feeling with your exhales, any tension, any stress, just leaving your body. Feeling that lovely grounding sensation through your feet. Softening around the face, softening the neck. And then just letting your breathing return to normal. Keeping the shoulders down and back. Letting the hands just drop by the side. Feeling heaviness through your feet, but at the same time, a nice kind of energy rising up through the body, up through the spine, out of the crown of your head. So feeling heavy and light. Releasing any tension around your forehead, around your eyes. Maybe bringing a little smile to the lips. And when you're ready, bringing your hands together into your prayer position, blinking open the eyes. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend.